Actually, when it comes to you, my gorgeous Pisces, October, it's going to be quite refreshing month indeed. On one hand, we know what October is like. October is probably one of the most spiritual months in the actual year. And the reason why is purely because the energy is pretty much different. The energy is really deep. The energy is really powerful. Purely because at the end of the month, we have got on the 31st of October, Samhain. Some people call it Halloween, some people call it Samhain, but however, it is a really, really powerful time of the year. In fact, to me, in my mind, in my opinion, it's the most powerful time when it comes to its actual energy, because that particular energy is giving us power throughout the actual month of October. So it's not only about the 31st being Samhain, which is, on another hand, it means that the veil in between this world and the spirit world is at its thinnest. The actual veil in between this world and the spirit world, it's always quite thin, because we have got spirits around us all the time, every single day indeed. But the difference when it comes to Samhain, most certainly this veil is even thinner, and that means that on another hand, we are actually visited by the spirits who are keen to help us, who are very eager to help us, who very much so want to help us so much with a particular aspect of our lives that are actually bringing us down, that are making us feel really negative, and all those aspects of our lives that we've actually feel really stuck. So this is the difference with the Samhain, because we have got the spirits that want to help us, but that's not all. It's also at the same time the spirits that know us, the spirits that know our spirit. So it's either the people who used to be in our lives and then they died and they passed away, and then their spirits are returning. And then sometimes, in some cases, we may not even know who this is, because we could have been little babies, and then somebody had a very strong attachment to us when they were alive, and then they died, and then now they're still kind of wanting to come through, wanting to come forward in order to help us. But also sometimes, it can be just like a really pretty much so like a very kind of wise, very special spirits. And I say this because the certain spirits are not going to have like a connection with us, but they will still want to help us, they will still want to guide us. And to you, my gorgeous Piscelini, there is an absolutely mind-blowing answer that you are going to have. Just remember, in the last week of October 2021, you are going to have an experience with a spirit. You are going to have a mind-blowing experience, very mysterious, very bizarre, very strange. Something is not going to seem quite right, something is not going to seem quite normal, and you will know that a certain spirit is going to make themselves known. But above that, most important is to actually pay attention to any kind of smells, like maybe the certain perfume of the person who used to be in your life, maybe the certain food they used to cook, maybe it's just going to be like a drop of the temperature, like suddenly really chilly cold, or maybe you will just kind of sense somebody with the corner of your eyes, and then you look and there is no one there. There's so many different ways the spirits can actually enter on our world and let us know things. But in particular, there is a very, very important information that you are actually going to have. The spirit is bringing you mind-blowing information, my gorgeous Piscelinis, and you need to pay attention, especially in the last week of October 2021. It's going to be really mind-blowing, because at the same time it's going to bring you powerful confirmation, a strong sense of direction. It's almost immediately going to be revealed to you, because visually you're going to be able to connect to the part of your life that was missing so much. But also there is some kind of bravery that you are going to have, something very special that you are going to feel. This in itself, it's most certainly going to be very much so like a homecoming time to yourself. And when it comes to some powerless situation, this is pretty much so to do with like a powerless situation that was draining your energy for a long time. And this is what this information, this is what this a spirit will actually going to guide you about, you know, the things that have been making you feel really powerless in your mind. And this in itself is going to have a special information for you, a special message for you, and you will know what to do. That at the same time, the powerless situation, you're going to almost immediately liberate yourself from. But then at the same time, by the time you get to the actual end of October 2021, you are going to find yourself on another path. You are going to have an important opportunity. You are going to have an important possibility with unlimited, you know, like options around. And also at the same time, you're going to be very grateful to yourself, and you will see why. Because you will realize that not that long ago you were following your intuition, and now this is all going to be connected to it. Huge, massive, very special reward, which is by the end of the actual October going to lead towards an important financial opportunity. My name is Sasha Bonasin, and I'm a psychic medium, and this is your monthly horoscope tarot card reading, and it's for you, my gorgeous Pisces, and it's for October 2021. So this monthly horoscope tarot card forecast is for you, my gorgeous Piscelini, and it's for October 2021. Sorry. When it comes to the actual numerology, your number is number 5. This is a very powerful number, but it's also warning you to be careful and to be mindful of some kind of conflict. Somebody will kind of somebody's not going to make sense to you whatsoever this month, and it's going to happen within the first couple of weeks. And it's not only that not making sense that it's going to come from that person, it's also going to be pretty much so like kind of connected to some kind of like a basically a confrontation, not the confrontation, but somebody's like gonna kind of like come out in that negative way towards you. But you just need to understand, and you need to remember that you're already gonna be like a halfway there, away from that person in that situation, because something is at the same time slowly going to come to an end. So this is the confrontation that I'm talking about, and I would like to prepare you not only for the first couple of weeks this month, but also for the rest of the months. Like if anybody's trying to have a certain confrontation with you, not certain, if anyone is trying to have a confrontation with you, if anyone is kind of off with you, just move along, baby, just rise above the situation. Your job is to most certainly not to waste your energy, your positivity and optimism whatsoever, because this is part of the karma, because the karma in between you and this other person is slowly coming to an end, and this is basically like a part of the natural progress, natural process. So you just need to remember to rise above the situation. Anybody who is off with you, anybody who tries to have a little confrontation, anybody who doesn't agree with something that you say, with your like a dear opinion, for example, and things like that. So this is something that I would like you to actually pay attention to. Number 5 in numerology, it's a very powerful number, so it's making you aware of things that you weren't aware of before, but it's also going to really remove you from the maybe a person or a group of people, or maybe the certain beliefs that don't work with you, because you're going to become aware of something very particular, very crazy, very absolutely mental, but so important when it comes to your personal development. And this is what number 5 means, because almost immediately you will be able to connect or reconnect to yourself in such a high level that also at the same time you're almost immediately going to be able to tell what exactly is missing in your life. And this is yet again to do with your past, yet again to do with your past over the last 5 years, within the last 5 years in particular, but maybe even longer. I know number 5, it's really important. It could have even been like within the last 15 years, 1-5. I know yet again that number 5 is very important. So when it comes to this timing, but it's also very symbolic when it comes to many other aspects of your life, because something from the past is going to be screaming to come out, my babies, and now you will know this is the time. And now naturally this is just going to make sense to you, and most certainly it is just going to kind of bring you this wonderful spiritual experience. You will be looking at something, you will connect to something, whether you're going to be outside and you're going to see some some kind of like very spiritual people that are going to inspire you, some kind of like a really nice ritual or something. Or maybe you will be kind of like in your mind, you're going to be thinking about that, you're just going to be drawn to the certain specific situation when it comes to the certain spirituality or a spiritual ritual, spiritual experience, or you're just going to be watching TV or something like that, and you can connect on so many different ways. But that particular spiritual experience that you are going to have, something is just going to be basically pretty much so, something is just going to come to you so importantly, and you're going to realize something so significant at the same time. It's to do with a certain restriction, but it's also to do with you putting the spiritual armor on by following your intuition and by doing only those things that make sense to you with every single aspect of your life. As simple as that. This is what you need to remember, because this in itself, it's also kind of gonna connect you to realize something very significant about some kind of person of authority, of an authority that is also going to be playing an important role here, and this is all going to be part of this progress and part of this process and part of this realization that you're going to have. And this is nothing unusual, because this is all about your own transformation. You're about to find yourself again. You're about to find your life again. I'm not saying that you lost yourself. I'm not saying that you lost your life, but you will see. But in particular, when you come to the 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th of October 2021, this is going to be a mind-blowing time, because you will see how you're going to feel. And that vibration is going to open up so much within you. And that is going to really reflect on so many other aspects in your life, in a way of thinking. So when you need to give a courage to yourself, you will be able to do this. When you need to give like a bit of a positive energy to yourself, then you will be able to do this almost immediately, because you're very powerful, my gorgeous Piscelini. The power of your mind is like enormous. You're one of the signs who can achieve so much through your own way of thinking, like Scorpio, very similar to Scorpio indeed. So you just need to understand how to use this energy to your advantage. But then again, on another hand, it's only natural to go up and down, to be up and down, but when you're down, you can do a lot of negativity to yourself because of the power of your own energy. But my lord, when you are up, then you're just really high above the ground. And once you get to that stage, nothing can stop you, because what you see, it's like something that you will never forget. And that in itself is going to help you to connect with yourself when it comes to your future. And that in itself, it's really kind of gonna make you realize that this is a highly transformational time. So the certain things will kind of need to go. But then on another hand, it is just about an important future plan that you're going to have. That you're going to find yourself being very drawn to the certain part of your life. And what you find yourself being very drawn towards, it's to do with the deep concentration and study. So you're going to need to learn about something, and it is going to take an additional 13 weeks, 1-3. These 13 weeks, 1-3, are going to be very important when it comes to this process and unfolding time, which is going to take slightly longer after that. But this is all about the process and unfolding time, and how much you're going to be able to understand, learn, and absorb. And you're going to learn quite a lot about yourself as well. So all you need to do is just, when something is like kind of calling you, the month of October, it's all about your personal calling. This is going to be very personal to you. So when you are kind of feeling something like, you want to read up about something extra, or you want to learn about plants, you want to learn about the light, or you want to learn about the leaves or something, just go for it, baby. Just like open the book and read about it, or just learn what you need to learn. You need to pay attention to these personal calls that you are going to have, and there are going to be so many of them throughout. And these personal calls, once you learn how to follow them at such a highly powerful and spiritual time like October, you get so much more out of it, because you can go so much like further than you would normally go, purely because we have found ourselves in this powerful month of October. So it's all about deep concentration an application, for example, study, it's to do with your reflection, and it's to do with the next step, but also respect for knowledge. You must not ignore the respect for knowledge that you're going to feel. You're going to feel very thirsty, and this is a brilliant month to feel thirsty indeed, because pretty much so this desire to learn something new, it's almost immediately going to help you to reconnect with yourself. So almost immediately that the ideas ideas that are subconsciously going to start popping out of you at a time when you least expected. You will become aware of them. Pay attention, because this is going to be very brilliant. And in fact, the 3rd of November 2021, yes, I went to November, the 3rd of November 2021, there is a very important answer that you're going to get, that you're going to gain, that you're going to be able to connect to this, what I've just said. Very important indeed. And you are going to get a very kind of powerful news, very significant news. You're also going to get by the end of October 2021. And that news that you're going to get is just going to kind of like be very important to you, because it's almost immediately going to require from you to make the next step, and that is going to make you quite active and determined. And this is what I like, because that news, it's almost immediately going to bring the very powerful determination. And when we feel so determined in October, we most certainly, we need to understand that this is also a very powerful time of the spiritual unfoldment that is going to take place, but at the same time going to bring so much more to our awareness, into our dimension, than we would normally have. Normally we would have to work so much more and so much longer and so much harder, but now throughout the month of October, it's all about this spontaneous energy that is going to bring you lots of like a psychic feelings and emotions that you're going to find almost impossible to ignore. So also there is a very powerful idea. Just remember the idea that I'm talking about, because it's all about the hope. It's going to inspire you like there is absolutely no tomorrow. So as I said, by the end of October, you are going to become aware of the very, very kind of powerful prospects, very bright prospects which are about to enter your life. But then again, it's pretty much so to do with a mix of the past and present at the same time. Don't forget that, please. It's important. It's going to make you, above all, it's going to make you feel really optimistic and really positive. But then again, there is a very powerful omen that you are going to have at the same time, you know, and that powerful omen that you're going to have at the same time, it's going to help you to know the certain pleasure and happiness in your life. So you just have to open up yourself and just let it in, basically. Very important indeed. On another hand, when it comes to your health, my gorgeous Piscelini, this is also for you, my lord, a rather important time to take something like a natural vitamin C, either natural kind of like a organic acerola cherry powder, organic acerola capsules, or organic camu camu powder, organic camu camu capsules. These are both both of these supplements are very high in vitamin C indeed, and above all, most importantly, they're natural. I would highly suggest you to take this every single day alongside natural vitamin D supplement. And if you tell me that you're in the sun every day, I will still tell you, even if you're in the sun every day, I would still recommend you 100,000% to take a natural vitamin D supplement alongside natural zinc as well. This combination is going to be superb, and it's going to reflect on so many other things as well, apart from just boosting your immune system. But this is something rather important indeed. If you're on any other medications, if you're pregnant or if you're breastfeeding, you just need to check with your doctor, or you just need to check with your GP. Only your doctor or GP can tell you whether this can interact with your existing medications or not. Okay, so now before I go on the first date, I would highly recommend you something like the actual chakra pendant. Is absolutely a must. I know I have like I advise people to get this also in September, but I also said that September, October, November and December, all these months are going to be so important, my lord, when it comes to our activity, when it comes to our spirituality, when it comes to so much happening, when it's so much happening around us, you know, it drains our energy, and then we kind of lose our way. When we lose our way, we find ourselves disorientated. When we find ourselves disorientated, we don't make the right decisions or the best decisions for us. We make decisions that we later regret. You see, like, oh no, shouldn't have said that, I shouldn't have done that, blah, 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 and things like that. So this beautifully helps you to keep your legs on the ground firmly, but also it brings you the motivation and it points you towards things that you should be actually focusing on. This comes with a gorgeous sterling silver setting and sterling silver chain, and the link to buy this is in the description below. By buying things from my channel, you're also supporting my channel, my gorgeous Piscelinis, as well. I have to say that. So the very first date that I would like, sorry Kitty, the very first date, hello my gorgeous, you see this little kitty, very first date that I would like you to pay attention to is the 5th of October. Now the 5th of October, some kind of imposter is going to be revealed. You know, in fact, in between the 1st and the 5th of October, the 5th of October is going to be playing an important role, big mama role, when some kind of imposter is actually going to be revealed, and it's pretty much going to be connected to something rather unforeseen. So this is going to surprise you, but then again at the same time it's pretty much so to do with the lack of some kind of preparation that you are going to feel, and that is just going to remind you like, do you still want to follow the old ways, or do you want to change it, you know? And that is going to give a nice little shaky happy, and it's important because it's just going to pinpoint you towards the change. Like subconsciously you will be very illuminated, and this is in itself, it's going to be brilliant because it's just going to kind of like put you back on the track where you found yourself off the track a little bit. So it's all about the patience. You need to understand that this is all about the patience and bringing together things into perfect union when it comes to the actual management, adjustment, and also the certain good influence is going to be playing an important role here, my lord, purely because, you know, it's some kind of success that it's going to inspire you, and that in itself is going to put you in a little bit of a hermit mode in between the 5th and the 10th of October. It's important to pay attention to. You're going to be rather self-illuminated. I'm not saying that you're going to be the whole 5 days in a hermit mode, but the hermit mode is going to happen one of these days in between the 5th and the 10th of October. But you're going to feel very kind of like a weird, you're going to feel very strange. You are going to be aware of these different dimensions, you know. At the same time you're going to feel very deep but not sad, very down but not depressed, and this is like when the most is going to come out of you in terms of understanding, but also in terms of like inspiration and in terms of feeling like a self-esteem and confidence. You need to understand that in this world this life is not meant to be easy, but what is very important is that we also need to understand that we need to give credit to ourselves where the credit is due, and this is exactly what you're going to become aware of, and you will see what I was talking about. But on another hand, what this hermit mode is going to bring you, the actual something that you were in self-denial with, you know, the certain part of your life, the certain aspect of your life, it's going to change slowly, but it's all about you kind of like just like basically realizing this, you know, something that you have been in denial about, you're going to become aware of, and without even realizing, you know, there is an additional time of the actual 58 days going to take, exactly 58 days, and then after that moment in time you will be able to see the progress of this particular process that just started. It's some kind of unfoldment and a spiritual lotus moment that is actually going to manifest, and when the lotus moment manifests, especially the time and the powerful time like October, there is just so many opportunities that are going to come out of it, but lots of them are just going to kind of become new for the first time. The new interests you're going to start showing towards things, and this is what happens when you give credit to yourself. That balance is important, and this is going to become rather evident here. On another hand, also in between the 5th and the 19th of October, you're also gonna have like a pretty much sort of somebody very loyal to you and somebody very important to you. It's gonna play an important role when it comes to realizing if someone is like kind of reliable to you. So this is gonna be quite important to you. But on another hand, this same period in between the 5th and the 19th of October, it's also going to, I can see that you're gonna make a really wise investment, really wise investment, and this is gonna get back to you like a 10,000 times, okay? And also on another hand, if you do want to kind of like think about these things, then in between the 5th and the 19th it will be perfect because it's gonna get back to you so much more than it normally would. The second important date, my gorgeous Piscelini, it's going to be on the 19th of October. You're almost gonna see that a certain aspect of your life, like, oh my god, that like you're gonna like kind of feel like like, oh my God, this came to an end. But then, you know, it's not an end. It is just a continuation that it's going to need. And this is why the process that I was saying before about you learning and paying attention to what you learn, this is all going to be connected, because on the 19th of October, you're going to feel like, oh God, like, you will want to do something, you wanted to do something by this point, but then maybe your finances or the situation is not allowing this to you, okay? This is what it is, you know, your finances or the personal situation is not allowing this to you. So you just need to keep going, my gorgeous Pisceans, indeed. You need to continue effort, you know, until full success is basically achieved. And that in itself, you know, it's pretty much also going to give you so much pleasure and relaxation later on. And that in itself, as soon as you come to terms with this, is going to be very important indeed, because that is almost immediately going to start the process. Something is going to come to you, you know, in terms of new plan. It's something that you wanted to do for a while. You're going to be able to do this. But then again, I can see that you probably attempted this at some moment in time, you know, over the last 17 months, but maybe it didn't work, or you just wanted to attempt it and you just didn't feel like you're ready. So now you're most certainly, you're going to be ready. And there is a very powerful hope that you are going to have, purely because of the month of October. You will be able to see so much more in front of you that you couldn't see before. But then at the same time, uncertain efforts that would normally stop you, prevent you to move on, now you're just going to be sailing it through, because subconsciously it's going to be like, my Lord, a very strong, powerful connection over there, like pretty much so like calling you. So you're not going to be able to ignore this whatsoever. You know, this is brilliant because you had a lot of lack of understanding when it comes to this particular situation, and that there was a certain like a knowledge that was missing. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, because that in itself pretty much so brought a little bit of conflicting influence into your life, and that kind of slowed you down a little bit as well. Okay, the third particular date, and before I go there, I would highly recommend you to get like a dry sage. Look at this dry sage stick. It's absolutely huge. Big mama stick. Massive dry sage stick. And I really suggest you, at the time when it's so powerful, when it comes to this energy, when it comes to the month of October, you know, to smudge your home. You know, close all the windows. You know, like burn it a little bit, and then it's going to make so much smoke. Then walk into every single room in the house and say a little prayer, say a little chant, say a little affirmation, you know, call your angels, guardian angels, your spirit guides. You do whatever comes to you, whatever you think is right. But the point is to smudge your whole home, and then at the same time you smudge yourself, you know. You may feel, and then at the end you open all the windows, and as the smoke goes away, the negative energy goes away as well that was accumulated over the time. But also at the same time you smudge yourself. And if you feel like a drained over the next 2 or 3 days, that's absolutely brilliant, because it means that you had a lot of negative energy within you. So now your body is just basically is going to get rid of it. It's changing, and this is why you're just going to feel a little bit strange, and then after that you're going to feel remarkable. So this is something I would ask you to get. And if you would like to buy this from my shop, you're supporting my shop, and the link is in the description below. By buying things from my channel, you're supporting my channel as well. Okay, I have to say that. Now the third important dates, 2 of them, is the 30th and the 31st of October 2021. So this is all about pay attention to any signs, pay attention to how you feel, pay attention to like which strange things are actually going to take place, or which strange things are going to happen to you. Pay attention to also what is persistently on your mind, because there is a certain particular thing that is going to be on your mind that you must not ignore. On another hand, this is an important time of your transition. The 30th and the 31st of October, it's an important time of your transition, change, and suddenly you're going to find yourself feeling like a bored with certain aspects of your life. But this is brilliant, because it's going to pinpoint you towards the right direction, exactly what do you need to abandon in your life. It's about the sacrifice that you're going to become aware. It's about a readjustment that you're going to become aware, but this is most certainly going to lead towards your own regeneration and rebirth at the same time. You know, it's very interesting how somebody very special and very important in your life, it's also going to be playing a quite significant role here, because it's the certain advice that you're going to get from that person is going to be very interesting, but that person didn't know anything about what was on your mind, and this is going to surprise you. But then on another hand, you will be able to see how spiritual time this is and how everything is wonderfully connected, because what this advice is going to really also be connected to, how to kind of avoid a certain deception, how to kind of protect yourself from the certain dishonesty and certain trickery here, you know, and certain insincerity. This is all going to make sense here, you know. You will become aware of the person and people that you should be cautious about indeed. Just remember what I say, you know, follow your intuition. If something doesn't make sense to you, then you just move on. Say goodbye, my darling. You know, as simple as that. Stick to your guns. You know, stand firmly on the ground. This is very important. And on another hand, the last thing that is actually going to happen on the 30th and the 31st of October, you just need to remember that there is a certain reflection on the past, which is going to bring you an important insight. You know, just remember this. When you find yourself wondering something about your past, there is also an important answer going to be there for you that is going to help you so much with your current situation, and you're not going to be able to believe that this is the solution. This contains the solution to the problem that was really draining your energy over the last 12 months indeed. Okay, so now my gorgeous Pisces, I'm just going to see briefly what to pay attention to in the first part of October, second part of October, and the last part of October. Now the first part of October, you know, just pay attention to kind of like not overwork yourself. Pay attention to not to kind of waste your energy. It is very important to reward yourself as much as you possibly can. You know, the need to bring balance and fun into your life is going to be super important. Just remember the balance will be very important, but also people in your life. You need to communicate to people in your life as much as you can. You need to reconnect and connect with the people in your life as much as you possibly can. The mid part of October, you know, this is so important because you are kind of you're going to need to embrace a very important part of your life, but just remember the mid of October, it's going to be very significant because you're going to need to embrace very important part of your life. This is very personal to you, but the choice needs to come straight from the heart. It needs to come from your spirit. It needs to come from your soul. This is something that you need to remember, because that in itself is going to bring you the greatest accomplishment and satisfaction, my lord, by the time we get to March 2022. Okay, by the time we get to March, to the actual March 2022, this is going to bring you an amazing accomplishment. Okay, this is going to be the first step. The last part of October, you know, I need you to pay attention. This is going to be so important, in particular when it comes to the last 10 days of October. You need to remember that, you know, there's certain, you're going to feel very kind of a highlighted passion in your life, but that's not only it. It's about the events that are going to require immediate action. You know, you just need to remember yet again to trust your subconscious mind, to believe into your third psychic eye. That in itself, it's already going to be halfway day. So you need to trust your instincts like there is no tomorrow, but at the same time you need to stay focused. Okay, now I'm just going to see what is going to happen with those of you in relationship, my gorgeous Pisces. You know, I can see that a very big problem, burden, something that created burden to both of you in your lives is about to shift. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. My gorgeous Pisces, it's about to shift. You know, for those of you who are in relationship, an annoying problem is slowly coming coming to an end, you know, and that is going to reflect on both of you so beautifully, you know. And the second thing is that there is a very important call, message, or an email that you're going to get where it's showing you, where you're going to become aware of the certain accomplishment, and that is going to bring really powerful confidence to both of you. It seems like, and it looks like, that the stability, it's about to return, an emotional stability, but also financial stability, and also at the same time, you know, it is like the certain power that is going to be highlighted. You're both going to become aware of the exact thing that you should both be doing, and this is to do with things that are happening now in your life, but this is also to do with your future and your future planning. This is an important time of inspiration, so much. On another hand, my gorgeous Piscelinis, those of you that are single and ready to mingle, my lord, there are a couple of things going on here, my naughty little Piscelini. What are you up to? What are you gonna be up to? Stranger in the night, Piscelini in the morning, stranger in the night, Piscelini in the morning, stranger in the night, na, 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 na. Honestly, do you know what? There is some kind of beginning that you're going to find yourself at, my babies, and this is nothing non-related to anything that I said so far, but you are going to find yourself in the beginning of some kind of like a literally adventure, you know. And one day in October, you're going to feel super enthusiastic, and this is going to re-energize you, and you're not going to be able, well, to tell where this is coming from, but it's all going to be leading towards the certain initiative, you know, when it comes to some kind of new beginning, some kind of new start, you know. But then again, at the same time, this is pretty much so to do with you going to go somewhere, with you kind of starting to go to the certain dimension, like maybe you're going to start going to the certain forest, or maybe you're going to start going to the certain club, or maybe you're going to start going to the certain like place where people exercise, for example, you know. It really depends. Maybe you're going to change your job, you know. It really depends what this is going to be, but it's pretty much so to do with your realization. Did you hear that? I don't know if you heard this. Police, you know, you see, they're confirming. Thank you, police. They're confirming for me. But this is important because it's to do with like a happiness and excitement that you're going to feel. But at the same time, this is going to bring you on a path with somebody like, oh my lord. So anything that comes to you that you want to do, that you want to start, that is inspiring you so much, my lord. At the same time, there is someone very special that is coming here, you know. Somebody who is about to enter your life, somebody who's about to enter your path, somebody who is going to give you a ridiculous amount of love, but at the same time, somebody who's just basically so sincere. You're going to come across this person and you're not going to be able to forget about them, you know. This is really important, and for the first time, your paths are going to be crossed this October, and even if they're not crossed that you're not aware of, you know, it is, just remember, if you start something, it could well happen in November, you know. It really depends where you are at the moment with your spiritual journey. But even if it doesn't happen, even if you don't become 100% aware who that person is in October, it's going to be November. But the most important thing is that you need to know that your paths are going to be crossed, and you are most certainly going to be sharing the same element, the same dimension, and it is not going to be that long until you meet this wonderful, mind-blowing person indeed. Okay, my gorgeous Piscelinis, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I love every single one of you, of course. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace, and light. So I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace, and light to every single one of you, my gorgeous Piscelinis. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium. Love you. Bye.